I didn't understand it right away. Regret doesn't announce itself. It doesn't knock. It slips in quietly and waits for ordinary moments. It shows up when I pour a second cup of coffee. And remember how she used to shake her head and say, "You're gonna regret that later." It shows up when the house is quiet. And the only light on is the one above the kitchen sink. When an empty chair feels louder than any conversation ever did. For a long time, I told myself I had done everything right. I worked hard. I showed up every day. I handled what needed to be handled. I never walked away from my responsibilities. I convinced myself that had to mean love. But sitting there alone that night, staring at the same table where we once planned our lives, I finally admitted the truth. I'd been avoiding for years. The mistake wasn't something I did. It was something I kept choosing not to do. I chose responsibility over presence. I chose later instead of now. I chose being reliable. And called it love. There were evenings she wanted to talk. And I told her I was tired. Moments she wanted to share. And I said, "Can it wait?" Small openings into her world that I brushed aside. Because I believed time was unlimited. It wasn't. I thought love meant protecting her. From stress. From worry. From the weight of life. So I carried everything myself. What I didn't understand was that by doing that, I was slowly shutting her out. She didn't need someone to shield her from life. She needed someone to stand beside her in it. Someone to sit down. To listen. To stay. That's why she said what she said. Not to hurt me. Not to prepare me for grief. But to warn me about the way I lived. Don't keep living like I'm still watching you survive. She knew exactly what I would do once she was gone. She knew I'd turn pain into productivity. Productivity into distraction. Distraction into a way of avoiding myself. She knew I'd stay busy. Because stillness would force me to feel. And she knew that if I didn't change, I'd spend the rest of my life calling survival a success. Now, when the quiet comes, I don't rush to escape it. I sit with it. The memories come. The good ones. The unfinished ones. The moments I thought would always be there. Because living isn't about staying strong all the time. It's about staying present. Even when it's uncomfortable. Even when it hurts. I can't undo the choices I made back then. I can't go back and sit beside her when I chose work instead. But I can decide what kind of man I become now. And if there's one truth I carry with me, it's this. Love isn't measured by how much you carry. It's measured by how fully you show up. I just wish I had learned that before she had to say goodbye. Because the next lesson she left me with didn't come gently. And it forced me to face a part of myself I had avoided my entire life. I used to think the hardest part was losing her. It wasn't. The hardest part was waking up every morning afterward and realizing I still had time. Time to breathe. Time to choose. Time to live a day. She never got back. At first, that truth felt heavy. Almost unfair. Like I'd been handed something precious, without knowing what to do with it. So I did what I'd always done. I stayed busy. I filled my days with structure. My calendar with tasks. My mind with reasons not to slow down. I called it being productive. Responsible. Strong. But really, I was avoiding stillness. Because stillness made her absence louder. Her words followed me everywhere. In quiet mornings, when sunlight came through the kitchen window, and no one sat across from me. In empty evenings, when the TV was on, but nothing was really being watched. They followed me every time. I almost chose work over a moment that didn't need a deadline. Don't keep living like I'm still watching you survive. At first, I resisted it. I told myself she would have wanted me focused, useful, strong. But deep down, I knew that wasn't true. She never asked me to protect life from happening. She asked me to live inside it. So I started small. I learned how to sit down without feeling guilty. How to let emails wait. How to leave things unfinished. And choose quiet instead. I learned how to listen without planning my next sentence. How to be somewhere without needing a reason. Some days, it felt pointless. Other days, it felt terrifying. Because slowing down meant feeling everything I had spent years avoiding. The sadness, the memories, even the joy. That scared me because it still existed. That's when I realized something. I wasn't just grieving her. I was grieving the version of myself I never allowed myself to be while she was alive. Slowly, things changed. I stopped measuring my days by how much I got done, and started measuring them by how present I was. I returned to places we used to talk about, not to relive the past, but to honor it. Sometimes I smiled. Sometimes I cried. And for the first time in my life, I didn't rush through either. That's when I understood what she had always known. Love doesn't disappear when someone is gone. It changes shape. It becomes patience, kindness, the way you slow down in a world that keeps telling you to hurry. I still miss her. That never goes away. But now, when the house is quiet, it doesn't feel empty. It feels honest. And sometimes, I swear I can feel her presence. Not watching. Not judging. Just relieved. Relieved that I finally understood what she was trying to give me. If you're listening to this, and you're tired of just getting through the day, If you're carrying everything and calling it strength, if you keep telling yourself you'll start living later, please hear this. Before time decides for you, you don't honor love by surviving. You honor it by living. And learning how to live that way forced me to face one last truth. Once I changed, I realized something else had been broken too. And fixing it meant confronting the people I hurt without even realizing it.